On to the next story. UK police in spotlight for not charging alleged Ontario poison seller. I haven't read this. I don't know what this story's about. I just saw the headline and thought that was interesting. Coroner's inquest probing student. Okay, I'm not going to watch that video. Okay, warning. This story contains distressing details. Well, it's about someone selling poison, so... And probably not rodenticide or something for use to kill mice and rats. All right, a British coroner on Friday urged police near London to wrap up their investigation into a student's 2021 self-ending of life amid authorities' renewed scrutiny of an Ontario man's controversial website. A detective in England's Surrey County last year reached out to Kenneth Law months before he was arrested at his Mississauga, Ontario home, but British police declined at the time to pursue charges against him. Law is accused of selling a toxic substance online to at-risk individuals in multiple countries. Police in Ontario's Peel region charged Law this month with 2 counts of counseling or aiding self-ending in connection with deaths in Toronto's suburbs. The Surrey coroner is probing the death of 22-year-old Tom Parfett, whose self-death has been linked to a now defunct site run by Law. I don't know if I'm censoring myself properly to not get more brutally censored on YouTube. On Friday, the detective who looked into Parfett's death was scheduled to testify at a coroner's hearing. His appearance was called off at the last minute since the coroner is still waiting for evidence from police, the coroner's office said. Surrey police need to be the subject of an inquiry that looks at why they didn't stop these deaths sooner than they did, Parfett's father, David Parfett, told reporters outside the coroner's court on Friday. His son studied philosophy at St. Andrews University in Scotland and was an avid soccer fan. His body was found in a London area hotel room in October 2021 near packaging marked M-Time Cuisine, according to the undated police statement seen by CBC News. M-Time Cuisine was a website run by Law selling 99.999% pure sodium nitrate, a compound which can be deadly when consumed in highly concentrated form. Even after Law understood that the police were investigating him, he continued to sell the poison, David Parfett said. Coroner Darren Stewart demanded Surrey police conclude their investigation by June 2nd. Stewart is expected to wrap up his inquest on June 23rd. Surrey police on Friday declined to comment. Surrey Police Detective Constable Lloyd Ives wrote in a statement that around October 2022, he emailed M-Time Cuisine asking for information about the order, but never heard back. An archived version of the site suggests it sold packets of sodium nitrate from 2021 until the past March. In April, the Times of London first reported Law had been sending the substance to vulnerable people around the world. Sodium nitrate is considered a reportable poison in Britain, meaning vendors are required to report suspicious sales to authorities. In Canada, sodium nitrate sales are not regulated, since the substance, typically in diluted form, is often used in food preparation. In a separate case in 2022, Surrey police appear to have decided against pursuing an investigation into Law because his website didn't look suspicious. Another Surrey coroner's report following the suicide of Neha Raju, 23, was sent to a Mississauga post office box tied to Law. The exact cause of Raju's death is redacted in the report, but the coroner noted the substance was available online. In a recent email to CBC News, a Surrey police spokesperson didn't name Law, but said officers reviewed the website used for the purchase, which is based abroad, and contacted the seller, but at this time there was no evidence items on that site were being advertised or knowingly sold for the purposes of self-ending. Yeah, so that's the trick, right? Sodium nitrate is a substance that's used in food preparation. So we can't completely restrict its sale, right? But we probably shouldn't be selling it as a poison for self-ending, right? That's not something I would support. So there's a trick. There's a funny little gray area there where we need to be allowed to sell the stuff, but we need to not sell the stuff with the intent of harm. In Ontario, Peel Police have said they're working with law enforcement agencies around the world in connection with 1,200 packages sent to 40 countries. In late April, Canadian authorities sent their counterparts abroad the names of potential victims through Interpol. Britain's National Crime Agency and authorities in Italy and New Zealand have all confirmed their involvement in the probe. Police in several Canadian cities, including Toronto and Regina, are also reviewing previous sudden death investigations for any ties to law. Peel Police Constable Sarah Patton told CBC News on Friday an update in the case would be coming soon. We appreciate the public's patience and understanding as we continue this investigation, Patton wrote in an email. The law firm Hennian Hutchison Robitaille, whose lawyers spoke on Law's behalf in court this week, declined to comment on the investigations abroad. Law remains in custody pending a bail hearing. He has denied all allegations against him. The charges have not been proven in court. Law is set to appear in Brampton, Ontario courtroom via video link next Tuesday. Now, here's a funny thing. So in Canada, we have this thing called MAID, Medical Assistance in Dying, where doctors are not only allowed, but are in many cases compelled to provide a death for an individual. Now, there are conditions on what that individual needs to be going through, but there it is. So Canada, as a government, has decided that self-ending is appropriate in some circumstances, completely 100% acceptable, and in fact forces doctors to do it. Well, not for themselves, of course, but forces doctors to aid other people in self-ending. And then they get upset when somebody is helping someone in self-ending. So I don't really know what is going through the lawmakers' heads here. I'm not in favor of it. So I'm opposed to both of these things. That whether you're selling poison for people to use on themselves, or you're having doctors help people, I think both of those are inappropriate, and it's just odd to me that the government is pursuing action against one person who is aiding someone who is giving aid in dying and promoting someone else doing it. So anyways, this is a weird situation that the government has got itself in. I don't know why a government that takes the position that aid in dying is appropriate and so necessary that doctors must perform it can also take the position that aid in dying, when you sell it on the internet, is somehow morally reprehensible and therefore must be banned. I don't understand how they can come to that situation.